Welcome back. Unfortunately, the stream did experience a disconnection just now at a very inopportune moment because we did take down the boss of the previous island. Let's see if we can find that on the map to show you. It did mean that we missed the transitional cutscene. We did lose it because I didn't realize until towards that we had broken off. But we had just taken down the mince scrapper over here. It looks like there's an incentive to replay though, because it looks like maybe we can replay it for each of the different tank builds for each of the different reward chests. So at least we'll get a chance to see it again. 3 relics rest in the buried ruins, and we'll go back and we'll do that because we missed our chance to show it off properly. I did take a look at where we had disconnected, and it seems like we cut off right before the kill. So we also missed out on the bit of dialogue afterwards, and also the acquisition of just a new thing over here. I think we got a new outfit. Because we... Oh, okay, no, we already had that because that was when we powered up the previous tank. That's a nice outfit. Let's go with it. Yeah, so unfortunately we did miss the loot window, but I can show off some of what we got. The major thing here seems to be the steam blaster. And a couple of other gadget upgrades that we picked up along the way. That we can't show off here because we only have this one gadget right now, but we'll go back and we'll try out some different tanks, and we'll do that fight over again, I think, with some different builds. You know, let's go with the blaster, because we have a nice damage increase on this. And then we'll finally play with some other gadgets for a change. Yeah, because here... Oh, yes, that's right, this is new as well. We finally got this as the treasure off of the previous level, the Sage's Bracer, which is a distant damage increase if you have a weapon that works well with that, such as the charger. And that is going to be tactical only. We'll switch out of tactical when we pursue the other chests here. Let's take a look at the previous world as well. Didn't he say... Oh no, yeah, it's just this one that we need to replay. Or want to replay, rather. Had an easy time with it. We'll show off the fight again. We'll show off a slightly different build with it this time. And hopefully the stream doesn't cut off so abruptly. We've had lots of disconnection problems over the past week for some reason. So let's figure out the setup. We also got 1 skill point at the end of that, so we'll plug that in somehow and figure out what to do with it. So, yeah, we'll pick one of these. Let's see what we're working with here, because we've picked up a lot of upgrades potentially since. This is the blast boot. No, we haven't really looted anything connected with this. But let's read about it. This is explosion when you land. Hang on, let's take a look. I'm so dependent on playing the turret. We haven't learned how to play anything else, really. But this is, yeah, with this weapon that you can just slash around for melee. I think in conjunction with blaster, it makes more sense to go speed tank and go with the blast boot and start looting some things for it, because we've been just building up tactical the entire time, the entire game. And we did get Fry's Bond up and running. And let's go... Also, we have the second relic power here we can use. Let's plug that in. Yeah, because we were running Fry earlier because we wanted the area damage in conjunction with some of what we were doing. In conjunction with how we're building now, though, with a blaster, let's take a look at Shiver's Showstopper if we can, because we haven't actually had a chance to show it off yet. Also, it looks like you can do presets, which we didn't realize. That'll be for later, up to 6 presets, but Yeah, so we got a blaster over here. Let's take a look at the ink consumption and the cooldown. It's need to get accustomed to this style of play, especially against a scrapper enemy where you don't just get to tank with a turret. That's going to be a bit of a change. And let's just redo that previous level then, because we have a reason to do so anyway. However, we have a skill point that we can also use over here. And yeah, obviously the gadget part slots we were filling up with tactical, but we need to loot a lot more for the other tanks before we can really take advantage of that here. Let's go with weapon damage. Once again, just to speed through things. Because now we're finally over the hump when it comes to damage requirements. So let's go back and play. And we'll do it with all three. We've been way behind when it comes to leveling anything other than tactical because we've been running tactical the entire game so far. But let's play around with Blaster a bit and see what we can do. And then, yeah, big weapon upgrade here to go up to a level 7. We'll get a salivator plastic bag in the wild over here, and here's another one. Should be able to plow through this rather quickly. Haven't really been using our ability here, unlike how we were using the turret on cooldown all the time, but we'll just have to figure out how to use it more effectively, like jump in. Makes sense with a blaster actually because it gets you in short range. Yeah, you can use it as an escape, but you can use it aggressively for damage as well, and so particularly something like the scrapper, it makes sense to just jump into it. So we can get that stun. Blaster is great against this guy. Whoop. And just jump practically in place just to like that and get it out of the way. Power exit full. Let's continue. About 50 seconds remaining on this. Is actually outpacing how we were doing with the tactical build before this. But that's partly because we upgraded to this level 7 weapon, I think, all of a sudden. Actually, jumping out of the way is maybe potentially good for escaping the scrapper here. We keep it on cooldown for when it charges in. A regular scrap to deal with as well, of course. Oh, and Shiver's charged up. And actually, yeah, Shiver's power just wrecks this guy. Just destroys him. So yeah, that was quick. New record time. Let's see what we have. Miniature scoop. With a speed tank. Submerge recovery enhance. Could be useful here. Now we're a beachcomber. We'll put that on for the speed tank. Look at this, level 9 charger. Yeah, big increase in our options all of a sudden. You know, let's play with it. 2-star rarity on that. Now, we'll switch this over to the submerged recovery But we'll also switch over to right next to play around this slab. Actually, yeah, this will synergize well with the charger, I think. And we'll keep Shiver's showstopper for now as well, because there's a certain amount of sense. Yeah, because you can kind of do a double slap like that. Let's let this come back for a moment, and we'll give it another go. And yep, because you can clear space nicely with that. That could be helpful. Let's do that level again. And clear all three. Yeah, too bad the disconnection that we had came at such a terrible time. With missing the end of island cutscene, or dialogue rather. It wasn't really that substantial. And that'll allow you to come back here. That's great. Yeah, because then you can push everything out of the way. Yeah, the mobility is not as great as a jump, obviously, but we can still make it work. Kind of got close and took some damage here. Whoa, got into danger. Splatolite damage up. Not that we're building splatolites yet. That did not do much on the stingers at all. Okay. Okay. A bit down on time here. Whoa, spotted by a small fry there. That was kind of a bad move here. Yeah, we're not doing so well on this one. Just not using the special effectively, perhaps. We got the eggs. A little bit rough there. Oh, don't stand there. Hang on. We actually do have Shiver's power. But we need to get around and flank this guy. Cleaner charger, interesting. Potentially interesting. I need to move out of the way here and just get behind it. If we can, and we'll dump Shiver's special on it. Just wrecked this guy last time, and that gets us further. We probably should get rid of that stinger. Yeah, I don't know how to use the melee special here effectively yet against enemies like this one. But okay, let's get out of here. Oh. Coming down on time here. Here we go. That was a little rough. But let's see what the reward is here for this build. Before we just go back to good old tactical again. Finishing burst. Ah, okay, so enemies explode when you take them out. Potentially helpful. This is helpful for the spot shed. Probably much more helpful than what we're running here. I think we're going back to our tactical comfort zone, though. We'll build these up on the side eventually, but... Oh, and we still don't have the Spiralight to afford the weapon upgrade station yet, either. Anyway, let's see what we got in terms of loot. We have a higher quality cleaner charger already, so we'll stay with that. And in fact, that works well potentially with ranged weapon if we go back to tactical for a moment here. At the moment, let's just fill all the slots because that'll be helpful. Oh, that's interesting. The next set of unlocks we could actually mix and match and have a third slot for gadgets as well. Makes a certain sense to keep empowering that up then for the moment. Wait, is it just a relics? No, you can equip a gadget of a different type. Okay, so we'll keep this. Long range burst will be nice. Now we're running charger. Actually, we can still kind of clear space using Shiver. I think maybe we'll go with Shiver. Because then you can clear space in a frontal cone instead. With the area damage that we can already kind of use with the explosion. So let's keep going. Let's get up whatever's next. There's a dungeon menu here too. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we'll do both. We can try to level 9 first, why not? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's get this guy to come down. Come on. Here we go. The slamming lid. Slamming lid, slamming lid. Did we miss anything on this side? Seems like there's some stuff that we could have gone back to get, or did we just come from here originally? Yeah, we did. We just came out of here at the outset. Okay, let's keep going. Whoop. Drop down here. Let's make sure we're not missing anything. Something off to the side. Anything around here? Nope. Steel eel is coming. Oh, hang on. Let's get around here with the turret if we can. Missing anything here? Doesn't seem so. Let's keep going. Go. Let's find most. Nuke some of these guys. Well, that's getting a little risky. Let's get out. Get out. Nope. Got a bit stuck there. Okay. Let's get the turrets down so we can flank the scrappers. And get on. Whoop, nope. And we'll keep on powering up in the meantime. This is where we jumped down earlier. Let's continue this way. Should be a scroll here. Polyethylene slosher. First slosher we found so far. That'll be fun to play. Maybe slosher in conjunction with the speed tank so we can dive around into melee and flank things. I do love playing turret though. So maybe a bit one-dimensional, just played it the same way with everything I've been doing so far, but you know, stingers are way out there and getting me into trouble. Okay, steel eels bearing down on us too. Whoa, could not get away from that. Yeah, we need to get the stingers out of here. Let's get out of here and go turret. A little out of the explosion range, but we got it. And then we'll flank the scrapper and steel eel. Actually, steel eel's gone. We'll flank the scrapper. Is this the last one, actually? Here? Maybe it was. And victory cooldown. Mega power egg collector. I kind of like that. Oh, I guess maybe you kind of collect it within range. That'll be easier for powering things up and not getting zoned out of certain situations in caves when time is of the essence. And a slosher is a level 9, which would be nice to have. This is more for the high fiver. Anyway, we can finally build the weapon upgrade station if we try to go for that. We're still on one gadget so far, which might be constraining us a bit here, but we'll take a look here. Because if we develop gadgets, we can't even afford that yet, given all the arcade expenditures earlier, but we can actually start running something additional. Yeah, we have a couple of upgrades sort of in the bank for some of these tools that we're eventually going to get, but I think before that, so we can get a sense of the cost, let's upgrade weapons, and then we'll see about hideout ship level 2 after that. Let's go for this first. Grants firelight shards into powder. What do we use for unused weapons, though? Surely we have a way to scrap them and retool them. Weapon stash. Okay. Well, let's take a look at that. And Fry's gonna man the station. Up to level +5. I think for now it makes more sense to just keep looting. Let's see what else we want to do currently. When you pick up Mega Power, HP and ink recover a little, so I think I might actually take that rather than the distant damage, in spite of the fact that we're currently running Charger. Because egg collection has been a bit of an issue. And we might want to switch over to Slosher for one anyway, just to see, but we'll go Charger for now. Let's stay with it. And take a look. Got a compass here as well. Also, let's see what this is. 7 to level 11. Lots of scrappers, potentially. Well, let's follow the compass until we find something sticky sweet. And we'll get a chance to see how the bumbloons are going to function along with the plastic bottle splatter shots. Oh yeah, bumbloons, you have to pop them manually yourself. Oh, you can chain them together, look at that. And it blows the whole chain. But then only 2 at a time, okay. Very interesting. Is there a damage increase if you pop 2? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, you can actually dump even more and get a whole network. There is a bit more damage off of that, it seems. Okay, let's try it. Okay. Very interesting new mechanic on these. There we go. So yeah, you create a chain, and then you continue. Kind of feel like we should be building towards bomb balloons then. Alright, so here we actually want to create chain here, and then we pop like this. Yeah, kind of puzzly. It is like one of those, well, Octo expansion style levels essentially. Oh, we need to wait for the lift on that. As for this one here, we need to make the chain. Or maybe send one up there. That actually did pop it just by overlapping the chain. I'm liking the bomb balloons a lot. It's a very interesting new mechanic. Very unlike anything we've seen in Splatoon so far. Great. But then what you want to do next is raise the chain somehow. No, not quite. Yeah, you do need to tug this up. Oh, I see, because then this pushes. Very interesting. Okay, that's a strong motivation to build towards bomb balloons, actually. That's a fun gadget. Very interesting. You can use the bot's landing burst to collect mega power eggs. Well, that's something new and interesting that I wish we'd known earlier. That's okay. Skill-wise, I'm thinking more slots. So yeah, eventually, well, bomb balloons is on tactical. That's fantastic. I think we should definitely try to build towards that. In the meantime, let's see if we can do something with those 2 additional slots. Love the explosion here. I think we'll keep it. We'll improve range a bit. Eventually we'll want to go fire rate, but... Oh, duration up. I hadn't even thought about... No, we'll keep things as is. We'll stay on charger for now. Okay, she's done. Let's see if there's anything like this extra punishing one down here. If it's a scrapper level. If it is a scrapper level that's kind of like a den fight, might make more sense to go with something else like Slosher. Just so we can get some quick firing down. Let's do that actually. Let's try Slosher on it. And see if we need to massively over-level it like we did with the other one. Oh, okay, flank it. Let me flank it. Might actually want to go speed against it so we can just jump around these guys, but it does make sense to go turret against Scrapper, though. We need to mind the time. Oh, I'm getting mobbed. Hang on. That was not great. We're way off in terms of time, actually. Ah, there's so many scrappers. Okay. absolutely need to just stun some of these out of here. Whoop. What I missed. Yeah, we might actually need speed to escape this because can't do this without flanking them. I was hoping the turret would help me flank them a lot better than we've seen here, but we actually need the bot to jump around a bit and get into position. The bot repositioning is actually a critical piece of the puzzle here that we have not been getting down. And we haven't really gotten any of these scrappers for what we need. Yeah, we're not getting anything off of this. Can't flank them at all. That seems very out of reach right now, in fact, but we'll maybe attempt a speed build. It's just so we can jump around a bit. This is looking a little weak right now, though. And I wonder if Slosher is really even going to work out. Charger's not going to work out for this one. We just get mobbed. I'm actually thinking we'll go down to the blaster despite the damage decrease there, just to get some area damage on a good cluster. This is going to be a straight line attack. I think we go back to Fry for this one, just to let's see what happens. And let's see about the upgrades here. Even more slots? Well, we don't need it right now for what we built towards. Let's keep the point in reserve right now because we might want to use it for gadget slots, but I will obviously not be using it with the speed gadget here, so we'll try it out a bit. We might have to go back to this level. I haven't had to get off the one so far, but too many issues. Oh, actually, that didn't work at all. Yeah, we need to do a lot better when it comes to using the bot to jump around, but Blaster seems to help a lot in terms of discipling them quickly. It's a lot better, in fact. Yeah, because it doesn't take very many hits to just get them stunned. Okay. And then you can get out of danger a little bit. Well, I said get out of danger a bit. Oh, except they come up and try to mob you that way. That's an improvement. Maybe. I feel like we need to get Fry's power up and running to do much of anything here. But yeah, because we can disable the scrappers all we want, but if I can't get around them, I can't hit them. And we're not going to hit timer here anyway, so. I don't think we have the right tools for this one yet. However, Blaster's doing well enough that actually maybe in conjunction with Turret, we could still do something. Let's go back. And maybe give this a points. Yeah, no, we'll stay on Blaster. It makes sense to stay on Blaster for this one. Let's feel this out a bit first before we figure out how to build in the rest of it. Yeah, we need to reposition the bot as often as possible with this one, I think. And then that's way better. Yeah, because they do start to follow you up ramps. To a certain extent, that's okay, because then you pop them and let the turret do a bit of work. And then the blaster really takes me down. And you can flank this way. Except I need to jump. Give me a jump. Give me a jump. Bot, get over here. Bot was not getting over here. Okay. Power rig's only at 50% though. We're nowhere near the time requirement. Yeah, that's not even close. I think we need a second gadget up and running before we attempt that one. We need to get something like the balloons, the bumbloons, up to have a good chance. The bumbloons would be great for that one in terms of positioning them to do a big explosive clear all at once. But it doesn't look like this is happening yet, so let's maybe move off to another level and come back to this one. And possibly loot some higher level weapons instead of just beating our heads against this, because this isn't just a numbers check right now, it is a big tactical check that we're failing. And we need more tools. We don't need this material yet anyway. Not yet, so we'll hold off for now. Carbon Yarrow wetlands. And yeah, if we're taking some potentially easier levels, maybe it makes more sense to switch off to level some of the other tanks evenly first. Get the speed tank up and running, for instance. And work on some of the bonds. Because we want to loot enough with the other tanks that we can actually make use of the skill point banks that we've been building up all this time. Anything we missed here? Nope, just a board. Let's keep going. Oh, did I forget to pop something there? No, I am okay. Thought maybe we forgot to dig the treasure or something. Yeah, it looks like the circle matches the ink type that it's writing through after a moment, so you know you actually have some friendly waves after a moment initially. So let's get this down. Oh, forgot, we don't have the turret, we have the jump. That's okay, that actually helped quite a bit for a steel eel. Let's see what else we can pick up around here. Makes sense to try to do a closer approach to stingers here. Just get it out of the way quickly. Let me go back. Yeah, I rather like the jumping movement on that. Hades or something. Got lots of escapes and such movements. Let's go over there to loot the boxes. More bonus levels and skill points to come. Balloons over here. Can we just ride through here? Looks like we can. So let's do it. Oh, missed it. Whoops. You know, we could have just shot that from the side. We didn't actually need to do the ride to do it. No particular benefit. Oop. Okay, I got blown up. Is there anything here? Nope, doesn't seem so. Okay, that's a lot going on. Let's go through here and some space. Whoa. Really feeling like the lack of a turret at the moment. Let me smack this quickly. Danger. We do have Shiver special available if we need it. Anything remaining on the other side, but it seems like we have cleared the area well enough. Salmon Run turns you into a special hoarder. It really does. Start to think about it on a budget. Even though in this case, when you use it against a big wave, you do get lots of power eggs back to recharge. Lifesaver. And we'll see about the compass. More explosions. Oh, finally we get a brush. Only level 7 here, but... yeah, increased supply, that's good for escapes, I guess. But we'll... see, yeah, we know we have empty slots. Let's take a look here. Because in fact, we can just fill all the open slots and they fit, which is remarkable. So we may even stay with that for the time being. And let's see what the relic is. Yeah, better recovery. Again, we haven't really been using mid-air jump at all, so maybe we've been underrating that. Actually, the submerging recovery might be pretty good here too. We'll consider it. Because these would synergize well, but let's stay away with it for the time being, and then see what's up next. We do have a little more currency to spend now as well. Let's figure that out. I may actually go for even more gadget part slots, but we'll see. Still going glass cannon through the whole game here. You need to advance further in the adventure for the hideout ship. Okay, so that's something we're not quite doing yet. We need to get up to about 1,000 for some of the gadget upgrades, or new gadget purchases rather, so as we'll just save cash for the time being. I mean, we can go gadget damage, I suppose, but I actually think we might want to keep pumping slots for the tactical side, but we'll hold that decision until we see what else we loot perhaps after the next level, if we stay on speed, which we may. And then there's going to be another den, only a level 8 den at least. But let's see what the compass... the compass symbol is interesting here, that it's not really giving me directions as it... oh yeah, no, because it just fills in as a swarmer. Sampler dungeon. Probably we need to surf on the board while going through rings and shooting things. We'll try it. Yeah, pure splatter shot here. Okay, that seems simple enough. Okay, smooth sailing so far, smooth surfing. But then now we have to hit targets. We need to remember to replenish ink if possible, just so we don't get into problems. Oh, no. Popped it by mistake. Oh, well, I mean, if you pop it in the middle of nowhere here, obviously you will need to restart from checkpoint. Yeah, angle the camera so we can see the jump a little bit better, perhaps. And that's it. Nice and simple. You didn't just hang 10, you hanged a couple dozen. Look at the balancing of the book there. Just showing off. Okay, so... now... let's see what was next. We'll put in those skill points, of course, but let's see what we're dealing with first. Spiggity Den. Well... let's see about this. We're starting to fill this in a bit with the explosion. Doesn't really make sense to go with charger for it, though, because repositioning like that isn't what you need necessarily, but we can mess around with slosher perhaps and try that build out. And just see what the den is like and see if this is at all a sensible build. Speaking of which, let's again... I mean, I guess we can just max out slots for now and worry about the rest later, but it depends on what we need to do to push this level. Obviously, we don't need any more slots for the speed tank currently, but it could help for the tactical tank if we wind up switching back to it. So... I actually think we're just going to max this out, because if we ever switch back to tactical, we want all slots. And that'll give us lots of flexibility. Yeah, prioritizing the arcade machine really does set you back quite a bit when it comes to getting additional gadgets up and running. Yeah, stingers galore. But remember, I'm on Slosher now. I can't just hold fire. Forgot for a moment that I was playing Slosher. Seconds, we didn't make it over here. Oh. Some collection. Let me take this guy out. Only 50%? 35 seconds remaining? We might have time trouble here. We don't have to pick it up quickly. Oh yeah, we're in a bit of trouble here. Actually. Didn't know I'd be that far down in time. Yeah, this is maybe not the best loadout for this. Platypi summit hatch. Well, we're at 2 seconds anyway, so couldn't get past the first level. Here, I think we're going to build a little bit differently for this one. For sure, definitely go back to the turret, I would say. And I'm not going to play Slosher either. Blaster might not be a bad idea for this one. even if we're reducing the level here, I think with the damage output is going to work out a little better. Let's go here. I think it makes a certain amount of sense to go back to 5 for this one as well. Actually, no, because you're kind of going at range sometimes. Let's stick with Shiver. Explosive placement is good. Let's spend the 4 points just entirely on fire rate. And yeah, collecting eggs from a distance will also be good for this one. So let's see. Because we were getting zoned out by a lot of those shots. Couldn't quite get the movement we needed to get in position to fight. Oh, so much better. Let's actually move around a little bit though and get some turf going. Need to get a stinger on the other side. That's okay, we'll do it. Sprayed down a little too much though. Danger. It's full, 30 seconds remaining. Yeah, a huge improvement that time. Massive improvement. That's why we play tactical. I actually kind of wonder if we should take a second crack at the scrappers as well with the current build. Although the explosion effect doesn't do much against them, perhaps. But no, I think we do need to get a second gadget up before we can do that properly. So perhaps let's work on the island boss with all 3 specs. For this one, we're going down to a den. Yeah, we'll go back to Charger for this one, just to see. Chargers and dens might not be a great idea, but yeah, because of the lack of movement, it might not be great. But, well, you get a nice big line ahead of you sometimes to escape. Maybe. We have to deal with the scrappers at some point, but we'll do this side first and get a bit more flexibility. Oh, come on, a scrapper. And this guy too. There we go. That's why we play Charger. Against those. Faster here, I think. Yeah, Charger was a good choice for this one. Do a Shivers special up as well for this one. You know what, let's just blow it up. That's actually way more than we need. That's okay. Build up a bit. Whoop. That's all we need. In fact, Shivers charged up again, so. Okay, there's something new. Jumbo big shot. Well, nice big target. Let's get the covering fire down first though. Let's so we don't get knocked down by that stuff. We'll need to take care of this. Whoop. When we can. Slightly out of range for that. Getting a tower down might be helpful. Whoa. Much damage. 50 seconds. Yeah, we'll need to start focusing this down. Whoa. Getting close. Here we go. I don't think the other specs are ready for this one yet. I think we'll get into some trouble, but we can try. However, we'll get level 11 dualies. So that'll be nice. We really do want to build bumbloons, I think, and then maybe take down that scrapper level if we get those up and running. It just makes so much sense. I don't think we can afford it yet, though. Izakaya Island. Ooh, that's interesting. Looks like it's a major boss. It's like the treasure of the Sierra Madre. Except with squids. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. In happier, younger times. They've totally been lured here, of course. No, they fell out of chopper. Okay, that's fine. Very sentimental. Okay. Now, we're just a little short of cash for 1,000 to open up the next gadget, so let's see what we can do. Probably replay this one again. I think one of the other builds is likely to struggle a little bit. But if we for speed tank first, perhaps. Yeah, we've barely leveled these up at all. That's going to take some work. And we've already basically maxed this out. I don't know if we want to do that in conjunction with Charger, given what we were seeing. Actually, no, Charger was pretty good against the enemies, though, that we had here. So we'll go with it, but without the turret, we might struggle a little bit, so let's see how we do. Actually, no, we have the new level 11 dualies. We can do that. Dualies may be a bit short range for some of what we need to pop here, though. But the DPS is going to be quite nice. And then can really focus on them down at range. We'll try to do at least. Okay, let's take what we can. That looks way out of range for me, but wow. Stood right next to the scrapper. That was a bad start. No up. Let's open up the wings on these. Okay, we can actually knock it down pretty quickly with the dodge roll to focus the shot, so maybe not as much of a concern without the Charger as I had. But there we go. Goes down really quickly, in fact. Whoops. Probably whiffed that a little bit. No, stand back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, a little bit rough, but we'll still be able to make it. Around a little bit and then over. Do like the mobility. was quite a bit. The reg's only at 50% though, or maybe a little behind pace. Okay, got through. Just barely. We do still have Shivers special available. That's something we shouldn't underrate. Totally whiffed on that one. Didn't catch anything with it. Nope, hang on. Jump. Don't dodge roll, jump. That's the thing about controlling dualies in a situation like this. Whoa, that was frightful. Nope, missed everything. Yeah, I have to let up on the dualie fire too. It was properly here. I don't think we'll hit the damage requirement for this one. Seconds, it's gonna be rough. Okay, got it. A little bit tight. I don't think we're ready to take this with Fry yet, but surprise is gonna happen. Well, might even be beneficial to take a look here first. Yeah, Fry, I mean, you can do a slash. We haven't really leveled it up with anything useful, though. That's the concern right now, is that it's not able to help very much. May even be advisable to get 2 gadgets up on Fry, for instance, to go for that final objective there, but we'll see about that. This could be helpful. Supply to lights. I think we go Bomb Balloon so we can do the Scrapper objective. Bomb Balloons are too much fun. Okay, Bomb Balloons have been acquired. Oops. And we'll put all this up. Oops. Yeah, we do want to equip it. Now they're on a separate cooldown, right? Separate cooldown. Great. Okay. Now we're in a much better situation there. So let's see about the scrappers. For the scrappers, do we still want to go with Shiver? I think we want to go with Fry. Do we still want to go with Dualies? Yeah, actually. We'll be pretty close range and might not be as good as the blaster necessarily, but then we might not have as many ink issues. We'll see. We'll try it. We need to use the bot jump much more strategically, though. Yeah, pop this immediately. Just need to not get overwhelmed with them. The numbers. Whoa. Danger. No. Shouldn't have stood there. I was trying to go around. Oh, we haven't even remembered to use the tool that we came here to get. Probably not hitting a time objective anytime soon, but we need to be on ground level for bombs to make sense here. Okay. Get ourselves out of trouble with the turret explosion, as usual. Wow, what a crowd. Yeah, we're not anywhere within range to keep these. We just got mobbed by them. You have to not let so many of them spawn and crowd you, it seems. And I wasn't able to get the bombs in position anyway. We need to be much better about that without popping them prematurely. But we did get bomb balloon loot. So we're not really close yet, but part of it is just trouble looting and setting up the bombs properly. And again, they seem to come in from one lane at a time. We just need to not let them cluster in the center like that. Oh. You take me down quickly enough. That's not an issue. Got those scrappers here. Not really opening up the way I would like. Even open up a big network over here, perhaps. And oh, just got mobbed. Yeah. Okay. And just stun him out a little bit. I haven't even gotten 5 specials on yet. Get out of here. Let me out, let me out. Couldn't let me out. Okay. However, this is a front moment over here. Let's see if we do anything to just get a drop on them. Actually, all of a sudden it's looking viable. Almost. Almost. If we hadn't taken the depth there, then I think we actually can do it with this approach. No, I already maxed that one out. I think we do stick with the dualies then. Just popping as quickly as possible. Without getting mobbed on the side. Oh. Yeah, because you can let the bomb balloons float past them and flank them. Might actually be the best approach here. See if we can control when we figure them a little bit better. Yeah, because you kind of flank them with a bomb network. And you can dump on a fry after that. Almost. Almost full. Almost got it. Can we? No, one. Close. We just need to take down maybe 2 more of those. I think this approach is essentially viable. Are we capped out already, or can we optimize just a little bit further? A little bit further. There we go. So again, let some bomb balloons float past first before you pop them immediately. We do need to jump at this position from time to time. But it's a great flanking weapon. Close. We didn't lose that time, and we were maybe 1 kill off from doing it. Very, very close. Just can't let it get out of control. Yeah, if you don't get completely mobbed, then you're actually fine for the most part. Because Bombloons just wreck these guys. And now, we're close, but we have about 20 seconds remaining. Doing quite well in terms of speed, at least, but... And we might be just a little bit short because of that one death. So close. So close. That one death really took out all the momentum because it allowed them to crowd in the middle, but if we don't let them crowd, then we're fine. Seven seconds, sure we can. There we go, got it. Okay, Bombloons are amazing. Best new mechanic in this game so far. Yeah, as just excited, you're saying the ink ability for this tank is really good. Yeah, but the Bombloons, I think, have been the MVP for that one. I mean, they are such a natural fit for scrappers, actually. Now, I'm way behind in terms of getting Fry with a decent setup, so I don't even know if we can clear that under level. Let's see. We can give it a try. We might want to go back to Charger with it. Gonna go pure glass cannon so far because we can. And look at that, we can release the limiter. This is basically like how we play Paper Mario, right? Just never upgrade the HP. But again, damage has been the limiting factor here, just getting everything down fast enough. So it does make a certain amount of sense. Anyway, in that case, let's try to get a decent setup going here for Rise Relics, which Explosion on defeat, I like that. That will work well here. And this is all we can put on it at the moment. Charger or stay with dualies? With the explosion, maybe we can do it. I do like Charger against this level, though. It might make more sense in conjunction with Fry, clearing space in melee. Oh, also, who do we take with us? The this one. Okay, let's do it. Absolutely supposed to spin that much. Yeah, because this right here is why we take charger into this level. Oh, popped that too early. Yeah. Yeah, that was premature. Okay. Got it. Yeah, manually reassigning bot position is something I'm definitely underusing. Okay, in danger. Let's get out. Get out. Time is actually a bit of a problem here too. Oh, missed. It's a big miss. Okay, we should be able to just collect these, and that's over the line. Great. A little bit tight though. Go down. Oh. Mistake. Probably used that very prematurely, but it's okay. Cleared a lot of space. No. Stood in too much danger. Yeah, I thought I might have some trouble with this. So, whoa, that was bad. Yeah, 06i, you said you thought Tactics tank was lacking in the DPS side. Well, not the way we're building it. I'm finding it most comfortable, but I guess I'm accustomed to playing turret builds in a lot of games, and so as long as you just use it on cooldown and point it the right way, it comes together quite nicely, I think. I think we stick with Charger for it. It's not always a great choice in secluded cave areas like this, but there are too many enemies that it's probably the best option against, so let's keep at it. Yeah, we need to get rid of this guy. Okay. Get rid of the scrapper back here too. Whoop. Set back here. In danger. Need to get out of danger. There we go. Okay, scrapper. Let's get out of here. Oh. Spending too long waiting for that opportunity, but Oh, whoa. Shouldn't have stood there. Hang on, 10 seconds, and that's not great. Come on, give me a shot. Here we go. Nope. Here we are. Put some space. Well, we have some time to work with at least. That was a bit rough, though. All the stingers just poking me from all over the map. Yeah, we just need to collect the eggs, that's the thing. We took out more than enough enemies that time. That's not effective, is it? Oh, but it kind of is. We need to get rid of that stinger. It's too much of a problem here. Clear space. Didn't see that. Yeah, we're not doing enough damage on the boss here. It was... not nearly enough. Got diverted by too many other objectives, I think. Really focused down. That's a redo. It's okay, at least we're filling in some of Rise loadout a bit with some of these attempts. Which we need to do. Finally got a level 10 plastic bottle splatter shot here. Ink efficiency, range and ink coverage. We might switch to splatter shot, actually, because we've got a lot of downtime in a charger that isn't always helpful. This is already optimized as best as we'll get it. Let's try it again. Yeah, it gives us an opportunity from retrying it just to build up some options for Fry a little bit. Although with many of these enemies it's difficult to see when the melee approach might actually be not good at all. But you can just muscle right into those without popping the weak points if you have the slash up and running, and so that's your option, I guess, if you don't have something longer range. Actually working out quite nicely here, just with the consistent DPS on the splatter shot instead of waiting on the charge on a charger. Yeah, and slapping those instead of sniping them actually works out better, much more time efficient. Yeah, it works out quite nicely here, in fact. Yeah, because DPS on a weapon isn't going to help you if you're not firing the weapon, right? And actually hitting things with it. Actually make that crossing for once. Okay, looking decent. Side of the tower, there we go. Plenty of time to spare, feeling pretty safe too. Okay, we do need to take out some of the damage from the side first, but we do need to do a much better job of actually focusing the boss. After the fact. You know, that works. Nope. That was unfortunate. That's okay, we might actually be on pace for damage at least this time around. There we go. Lots of time to spare. Worked out well. Oh, we got a Splatling too. Gadget recovery on everybody now. And yeah, Splatling, a level 11 charger, oil blaster, interesting. However, for now, yeah, we're going to take a look at that new area that looks like it's some kind of zone boss. And we'll probably close on that today, depending on how it goes. So let's maybe take a build that we're really comfortable with. Gadget cooldown shortened by 0.3 every 3 seconds you're in the air. That might be interesting. I guess if you remember to jump. I don't think the gadget cooldown has been too much of an issue for us. Maybe we go with this. I'm going to stay on the splatter shot. I think it's potentially interesting to go Splatling here too, but we're finding this to be pretty cozy at the moment. far as the gadgets go, yeah, we've put ourselves in a comfortable position here, I think, for the most part. Do we even want to give ourselves 2 more points? I don't know. Let's go here. And let's keep pumping main damage. And let's see that stage. Boatload Temple. Shiver is suggesting coming along, but what happens if you switch your bot buddy? Does it still say that? Yeah, so basically it's suggesting Shiver. I usually don't take suggestions, but given how the difficulty tuning has been pushing us so far, maybe we should take that seriously. Just to do some damage. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like we've got a lot of spawn points to deal with eventually. Now, who is this? The Wingbringer. The appetizer. Oh. Totally got caught by everything here. Yeah, we need to pop these quickly. Then we can jump up the updraft and then actually snipe it. Charge the power eggs. Okay. For a moment. Now, there's no time limit on this, which is important, and a notable change from the pressure to be aggressive that we've seen in many levels so far. Let's get this scrap out of the way so it's not blocking us. Drill attack. Okay. Then you take this down somewhat. Let's take down some of these guys. Charge up again and bring it down. Absolutely pop one of these just to get them out of the way. Okay, let's get over here. Open it down quickly. And then we'll see about that drill attack. Which is actually separate from Shipper's special as well, so. That's your chance. And just do the massive damage on Shiver. That will do some damage at least. Not as much as I would have hoped, but. So we got pretty far. Oh. Escape. Bad position. Let's get out. First chase. Here we go. That problem took care of itself. Okay, well, let's see what this is. Feels like we're going to piece it together with some other parts. And look at that. You would think we would have noticed something like this when we went to space in the end of Splatoon 3 as well, but maybe some other remnant of human civilization that has been sent up into the stars. Anyway, the constellation tells us of a tower. Singing is the key, and, well, what do you know? Yeah, 068, you said, well, it must have been sunken as well. Yeah, because everything is just newly emerging in the story. Okay, Boatload Temple is out of the way. Feels like we actually haven't picked up scrolls in a while. I probably missed a bunch. We'll get an awkward letter opener. To buff up the showstopper even further. Soap bottle splatter shot. It's kind of nice actually. We'll We play with that. A sand slosher. Look at this bucket. More for the shot pots. If we had the points to reassign to it eventually. Yeah, too bad we had a disconnection during the previous end of island stream, but at least this major sequence wound up in the video. I feel like this is going to become a regrettable oversight. Okay, so we'll look at the map if we can, but the adventure continues. Lots more ground to cover. Oh, and now we can actually drop in with some of the social features. Maybe there's some costume that's locked behind offering help as well as receiving it, but we can save those for later. Spicy raids in previous dungeons. So hard mode and everything then. So yeah, okay, so everything now offers you an additional difficulty, except for the tutorial island, it seems. I'm not going to do it yet, obviously, but... Oh, and it tells you the level that it's tuned for, accordingly. As well as the board that's attached to it. Let's take a look, actually, to see some of the costs, because you can see them by column. Not only the cost, but the level that they are tuned for. Some of them are way beyond what we're equipped to approach at the moment in terms of the tuning. Like having the scrapper den on level 26, for instance, that's maybe going to take a little bit longer. And yeah, rice bowl, spaghetti rice bowl, cheese, plain, and yeah, I think the hard modes are going to wait until we're pushing through more of the game, given that we're playing on Survivalist, and, you know, even being slightly over-leveled currently is barely keeping pace. Which has been a good tuning to play on. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we're sticking with it. Boatload Temple, when we eventually return to it, is tuned for level 27. That's going to be a tougher undertaking in its own right. So yeah, the spicy rays, I think we'll definitely wait for a later time. You're wondering if all the islands are food puns. Well, I mean, I think lay low island is just where you lay low. For instance, this just looks like soup backwards. Woos Island. But I wonder about some of the other ones. I mean, izakaya makes me hungry for izakaya. Yeah, I can't zoom out any further than this, but you can see just how much remains to be revealed. So we'll have multiple acts going on that we'll have to push through over a couple of different sessions, no doubt. Yeah, it's been fun to play with some of these setups so far. We'll worry about the gear and the rest of it next time. Master Mega's just having the time of his life over here. But we will look at some of the scrolls that we've collected, because I feel like we haven't actually been stashing many more of them recently, just as a function of which levels we've been doing. Oh, yes, that's right. You actually do get a bonus there. I should have remembered that so we can use some of that currency towards upgrades and building. Singing is the key, opens the way, and gold. Yeah, so we're missing a few pieces here. So we're missing number 3 in this set, for instance. And again, I didn't see on the map if there's an indicator for whether we have collected a page in a given zone, if it is 1 page per level or something like that. So we may have a little trouble backtracking and finding the scrolls, perhaps, unless we figure out what the indication is for where to look. Fierce angelfish. Please forgive me and my bullheadedness. I can't bear another day without you. Life alone is dull and disappointing, like toasted seaweed that's gone, all soggy. Tentactically yours, Ichabod. So we read about a Spiralite. This is pages 2, 3, and 5, so we're missing a few pages in this set as well, so who knows when we'll actually clear out the rest. Gives you a bit of a pretext for why they're carrying the Mega Power Eggs. Life in Splatsville. They're having a great time. Look at the glasses that big man used to have in the top right. Wonderful look. And gives you a bit of backdrop on Fry from the social bond, so yeah, we'll fill in all of the bonds with all the deep cut as we go and actually get a bit more context for them for once. And oh yes, you get some reward for filling this in too. We should have looked into these much earlier, actually, just given how much we're able to pick up in currency now. We can spend, so we're not quite so starved. So yeah, Mystic Summoners are the major bosses. And then you get a few tips. Love the illustration style for these entries. And then we also get some currency for the weapon guide as you collect. And get a nice close look at the various recycled containers that are used for them. Yeah, really interesting to see the salvaged aesthetic across the entire weapon set in this game. Very distinctive relative to the usual gamut of Splatoon designs. And after a certain point, we're going to get a big boost of currency for the next collection threshold, it seems. And there is an incentive to just buy up more gadgets as well, because if you get times 5,000 after 3 more, that essentially refunds you. Well, refunds you for the next 3 that we buy, plus 2,000, so. Then you get to see which parts were collected for each of the gadgets. It's a huge collection to build. So. Lots to pick up in this game, depending on how you're playing and which builds you're favoring. Anyway, I think we're going to close out for today. Pretty productive session. Once again, unfortunate that we had that disconnection earlier on that broke this just as we landed a nice satisfying victory, but we'll continue from here. And the next available session, which will be something that we pursue as often as possible, I think. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty big game, lots to do. And we'll see what we keep on pursuing. For now, let's leave off here. And then, thank you so much for watching. We'll continue as soon as we can. And more adventures await. Deep Cut and the Mechanic. Have a wonderful time ahead of you with everything that you may also be looting and shooting and whatever else might be applicable here. And as always, I do well.